My name is Harry, and I'm from London.
Meghan Markle here.
All right, today is January 22nd, 2026. It is 4:42 a.m. So I was editing whatever I recorded late afternoon yesterday. So I finished with that and I create a list. There's a lot to share with you. There might be different parts. And I come across some tweets that US media have shared. I have it here, and I think it will be on the first part if I ever do different parts in this recording. Okay, so let's go on X. There's a lot to share with you. First one. And by the way, I mentioned on my community board, I have not come across any transcripts. I've shared this, what I'm about to share with you, on my community board. This is the closest that I've come across. You know, when it comes to court documents, court proceedings, I like to share transcript. I'll read everything. You could go to some old videos. I'll read the entire transcript so I have a better understanding of what went on the court, what was discussed. So when I'm doing random videos, things come in my mind, I could always point to these kind of things. So I didn't see any transcript. So if I ever come across any of them, not only will I share it on my community board, I will do a video, because when I'm reading it, I will record it. So, you know, kill two birds with one stone. Okay, first tweet. They should have left this man's wife alone. Harry's witness statement is published. As the back and forth continues, we receive a copy of Prince Harry's witness statement, and he outlined his reason for bringing the case against the Mail's publisher. He says, quote, "Following the death of my mother in 1997 when I was 12 years old and her treatment at the hands of the press, I have always had an uneasy relationship with them. However, as a member of the institution, the policy was to never complain, never explain." Where did he mention that? When he did... where did he mention that? I know I have, was it with, okay, when Spare came out, he was, you know, promoting the book, I think either with Stephen Colbert or Anderson Cooper. I know I have it. So Harry, you know, he always stay on point.
Criticisms that you've received is that, well, okay, fine, you want to move to California, you want to step back from the institutional role, why be so public? You say you tried to do this privately.
And every single time I've tried to do it privately, there have been briefings and leakings and planting of stories against me and my wife. You know, the family motto is never complain, never explain, but it's just a motto. And it doesn't really hold...
There's a lot of complaining and a lot of explaining.
Endless.
Private, being done through leaks.
Through leaks. They will feed or have a conversation with the correspondent, and that correspondent will literally be spoon-fed information and write the story, and in the bottom of it, they will say that they've reached out to Buckingham Palace for comment. But the whole story is Buckingham Palace commenting. So when we're being told for the last 6 years, we can't put a statement out to protect you, but you do it for other members of the family, there becomes a point when silence is betrayed.
All right, let's continue. There was no alternative. I was conditioned to accept it. For the most part, I accepted the interest in my performing my public function. This is the thing I always say. There's a public and there's a private. He always remained in that. However, in late 2016, when my relationship with Meghan, my now wife, became public, I started to become increasingly troubled by the approach of not taking action against the press in the wake of vicious, persistent attacks on, harassment of, and intrusive, sometimes racist articles concerning Meghan. He says this case is about holding to account the journalistic executive and editors he says have used unlawful information gathering against him. We're pouring through the details of the statement here in the newsroom, and we'll bring you a roundup of the key lines soon. For now, let's get back to court. Okay, so there's more to come. All right, when I post this, I didn't read it at all, so I'm reading it while I'm recording. They really should have. Maybe, but this case won't cover any stories about her. It's specifically about press intrusion before he met her. Yes, I understand, but the thing is that it actually, them going after his wife make him more inclined to pursue that lawsuit. All right, simple. He and the others in the case with him will make their point. I live in hope that the day he fell and all those connected will lose the case and disappear off the face of the media. He and others have stood their ground, and good on them. And not only that, the thing that he's doing, it also helps the people in the UK as well. All right, there's many other things I'm thinking, but I do not want to share it to not give other people's ideas. There's a lot of things that's going in my mind. All right, next tweet. Prince Harry, a man of integrity, a man that walked away from an institution, a cult that lays in bed with the press as long as their dirty washing isn't aired, a man who will do anything to protect his wife and family. Your mom will be so proud. There's no comment. There was something I was thinking. There's some things that's going with the Beckham. One of the things that I said when I was covering the Beckham, the son, and I was like, I think what Harry's going through, it's also giving some other people, the courage to go with their heart. And their parents sometimes don't always, parents sometimes want the best for their kids, but sometimes the things that they pushing for their kids is not always the right thing, and many of those kids needs to understand and go with their heart if they know their significant others is the right one for them. So Harry is showing a good example of that. All right, so there's no comment. Let's go to the next tweet. So now I'm starting to cover the media in the US. All right, keep in mind there will be screenshot. Okay, this is ABC News Live, and I think this is the station that was saying if if they air the Prince Andrew thing, they would not get access to William and Kate. So that's that station in the US. Okay, Prince Harry, the younger son of King Charles III and Princess Diana, took the stand Wednesday in a London courtroom, becoming emotional in his testimony and invoking the experiences of his wife and his late mother. Harry, along with 6 other parties, including musician Elton John and actress Elizabeth Hurley, have accused Associated Newspapers of illegal information gathering practices. Victoria Murphy, ABC News Royal contributor, breaks down the key moment. All right, so let's listen. It's 1 minute and 28 seconds. Okay. I thought that was something different. Okay, let's listen.
Prince Harry delivering emotional testimony, telling a barrister that the publishers of the Daily Mail continue to come after me. They have made my wife's life an absolute misery. My Lord. Harry took the stand for just over 2 hours, despite the defense team insisting their cross-examination would take a full day. Victoria, Prince Harry getting pretty emotional in his testimony, his voice cracked at one point. How unusual do you think it is to see a member of the royal family get emotional like that?
Hello. Well, it is unusual. It's unusual to see a member of the royal family in the witness box for a start, and also unusual to see members of the royal family be this emotional publicly. But as we know, Prince Harry has very much done things his own way in recent years. I was watching him give evidence today, and I'd say it was mostly tense, to be honest. He had some very tense exchanges with the newspaper group's lawyer, Anthony White, over these claims that the newspaper is making that his social circles were leaky, and Harry was very quick to refute that. He rejected that. The newspaper is denying all the allegations and saying that these stories were sourced lawfully. But then he became very emotional at the end. He was questioned briefly by his own barrister, David Sherburn, and that was when he became very emotional, and he actually sort of choked a little bit. His voice cracked at the end as he made that comment about Meghan and how this has affected her. So I think it really shows how personal this is for him.
Okay, so that's that. And let's not forget, Meghan lost a baby. Okay, Meghan lost a baby when these people were getting on her case for no reason. All right, let's pause this. Of course, he's emotional but courageous. This same newspaper group he faced in court today bullied his mother to her grave, and they're trying to do the same to his wife. All right, 15 seconds. I think there's a music. Yeah, so let me just go over it. It's just him going to I can't share it properly. Alright, American media need to stop using these female groupies royal experts. They have no credibility, and majority of them are now proven to be criminals with press pass. Alright, top male journalist. Okay, so that was back in 2019, okay? Top male journalist Katie Nichols used illegally obtained info and stories. And the first part of our deep investigation into crime and malpractice at the Daily Mail and Mail on Sunday byline investigates can tell how 3 phone hackers admit selling Miss Nichols' stories, 2 private investigators admit supplying her with black information. Targets include Prince Harry, Hugh Grant, and Carol. Alright, when a newspaper embeds one of its writers in Meghan's Sussex father's life, it stops being journalism and start being exploitation. From Mexico to the Philippines, one reporter's proximity to Meghan's father raises unsettling questions about surveillance, manipulation, and obsession. It sounds like the setup to lurid Pat Boiler, Queen Camilla's biographer, Daily Mail columnist Caroline Graham isn't just filing copies from her London desk. She's embedded in Thomas Markle's life for years, first in Mexico and now reportedly in the Philippines, where the two are said to be living together. On paper, she's covering him. In reality, she seems more like a live-in minder. Oh my goodness. You could pause and read this. This is too small. I don't want to squint my eyes to read it. Alright, so there's more. This is the first article the Daily Mail published about Meghan. They have been racially attacking her since they found out they were dating. This has been ongoing every day for 10 years. That's why he was emotional. Yeah. Exclusive Harry's girl is almost straight out of Kempton. Gang scared home of her mother reveal. So will he be dropping by for tea? Oh my goodness. Jesus Christ. Alright, go Harry. Let's pause this. Go Harry, go. Love that guy. Let me just black this. After this video below, I'm gonna go to the next one. Prince Harry is extremely motivated. He's extracting accountability and doing the Lord's work so that society as a whole can benefit and not fall a cliff. Alright, 1 minute and 43 seconds. That's what, last year or the year before? Time flies. I think it was the year before.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon.
What I really don't like, and what I find hard to make peace with, is that there are some people on one end of the spectrum who are sitting behind their keyboards writing dangerous or defamatory headlines, knowing that it's going to work as clickbait because any context in the rest of the article protects them and there's nothing you can do about it. And at the other end of the spectrum, you have Nobel Prize winners like Maria Ressa, who's literally putting her life on the line, and war correspondents who again are putting their lives on the line to bring us the truth. So that to me is the spectrum, and my life has been covered by this end of the spectrum, which I will be damned if those journalists are going to ruin journalism for everybody else because we depend on it so much.
You did say in your book, you said, I began to think at some point that Murdoch was evil. You've had very strong words about Rupert Murdoch and what you think he did in this phone hacking scandal. What is the goal of this lawsuit, which has been ongoing now for a very, very long time?
The goal is accountability. It's really that simple.
1,300 people, from what I've read, have settled with
because they
the Murdoch folks. And of the 40 claims that originally joined with you in this action, it's down to now 2. And so you think that everybody's just settled because it just doesn't make any economic sense to continue?
No, I know why people have settled. They've settled because they've had to settle. So therefore, one of the main reasons for seeing this through is accountability, because I'm the last person that can actually achieve that, and also closure for these 1,300 people and families.
All right, so that's that. Look at this one, put this nonsense there, but black everything. You can't retweet, you can't like, you can't comment. All right, so let's go to the next one. This is CBS. All right, that's reporting it, only 44 seconds. This is where he did that skit with the late with Stephen Colbert. All right, Prince Harry testified in a lawsuit on Wednesday against British tabloid, saying intrusive reporting about his private life left him paranoid beyond belief. Harry and 6 other prominent figures, including Elton John and actor Elizabeth Hurley, alleged that the publisher invaded their privacy by engaging in a clear, systematic, and sustained use of unlawful information gathering for 2 decades, attorney David Trebon said. He says the case is part of a year-long fight over privacy and accountability. The Associated newspapers have denied the allegation, calling them preposterous, and said the roughly 50 articles in question were reported with legitimate sources that included close associated willing to inform on their famous friend. All right, so let's listen to this 44-second screenshot.
Prince Harry's testimony was a blow-by-blow of incidents of alleged press intrusion, highlighting 14 articles published when he was in his early 20s. He suggests phone hacking or deception could have been the only way the details leaked. Now, many of the articles feature his ex-girlfriend Chelsea Davy and another, Natalie Pinkham. He describes how the, quote, creepy articles caused mistrust and led to the breakdown of these relationships. Now, Harry's fight is bigger than just this one case. It's a mission he's been on for nearly a decade, and of course, very personal to him, at least in part because of his mother. He referenced Princess Diana today, saying an article that detailed a phone call he had with his brother about his mom was beyond cruel. Now, the Associated newspaper reject all allegations of illegal news gathering. Prince Harry's
Okay, so it's playing again. Let's see it. What's most shocking is Harry's stepmother, father, and brother are in bed with the owner of the Daily Mail. Well, Charles and Camilla, it's fine. I'm not saying it's fine that what they're doing is right, but it's the brother, okay, who should have a better understanding of what Harry's going through. But he decided to participate with them. But the stepmother and the father have always been in bed with the tabloid.
Do you really believe that a campaign was being waged against you?
Yes, I did, absolutely. Yeah.
Why?
I was a separated wife to the Prince of Wales. I was a problem, full stop. Never happened before. What do we do with her?
Can't we pack her off to somewhere quietly rather than campaign against her?
She won't go quietly. That's the problem. I'll fight till the end.
Okay, how can the head of state align themselves with a divisive, racist criminal network media that cause so much harm on other family members' subject? All right, that's to comment. Let's see what people are saying here. 2 successive heirs have faced controversies over rumors of affair using Harry as a scapegoat through leaks and briefings. This dynamic has a shelf life, and credible media outlet, particularly in the US, should recognize that the British royal family has a credibility gap. All right, so that's that. Let's leave that alone. I have another one. Now we are in the UK. GB News. Now this is the UK. All right. So this video, I probably have it different places because it was retweeted several times. Okay. I will play it only once. Daily Mail shook. There's that. Lawyer explains why Prince Harry was a very compelling witness. All right, let me see the timing and see the
That'd
other
be interesting.
one. Okay, it's 1 minute and 49 seconds. If the others are as long as this, that means it's the same thing. Let's continue.
It'd be interesting, you know, I mean, we'll never know, but how he felt coming away from that. Like you said, he was duty of evidence tomorrow. It was brought forward a day early. It was expected to be a full day. He only got a couple of hours. Rory, what are the tactics at play here from a legal point of view?
Yeah, it's interesting. A lot has been made of the fact that yesterday Anthony White-Casey for Associated Newspapers was supposed to do opening statements for 2 days, and he only did 2 hours, which pushed Prince Harry into the box a day early. And this is a technique that can be used to try and rattle a witness. And then today, interesting that they only cross-examined Harry for 2 hours. Now, in my experience, if you have a witness on the ropes, you keep going. He was due to be cross-examined for a day, and they took him out. They pulled him early because I think Harry was doing well, actually. Now, I think what a lot of people think about Harry is that he's a playboy and he's not very bright, but actually, he's intelligent, he's articulate, He's genuine, he comes across genuinely, and also he knows these issues inside out. He's lived this case, and that makes, in my experience, for a very compelling witness. And I think that although there were no hammer blows landed by either side today, I think Harry held up well enough that they thought, this is damaging to us. And he said a few things. For example, he said, I feel like they were trying to drive me to drink and drugs to make more press out of me. He talked about the misery inflicted on Meghan and started choking up. This is the kind of emotional stuff that cuts through to the public. And I think maybe there was a tactical decision by Associated's lawyers that this isn't going well, we should pull him out early so he doesn't do any more damage.
Yeah. The drugs, like I've said in so many of my videos, I'm telling you, my humble opinion is usually close to reality. And I always let you know it's my opinion. So I'm not with Harry every day to know what's going on. But when you read between the lines, you could see they were dragging him. When you hear them saying, especially in some of the comments, this is where I usually bring my receipt and said, okay, we should look at who has been reported doing drugs and selling drugs. I will never imagine or see that Harry leaving the palace to go buy drugs. Someone had to bring it in. Okay, because they wanted him to be in that state of mind so they could use his inability to be coherent, so they could write nonsense about him, so they could uplift the brother. Because every time they're interviewing them, Harry and William always says something negative about Harry, like he's gonna be drinking and smoking and doing drugs. So this is the narrative they had for him. Some of the thing I've been saying.
Like what? Well, when I was younger, I wanted to be a policeman, but I haven't. I wouldn't want to be that now.
Most popular cop on the block.
Exactly.
What would you want to do?
I think I don't know. It's a really tricky question. It goes through my head lots. I'd like to fly helicopters, definitely. I'd like to be some sort of heli pilot, you know, working for the UN maybe or something like that. Go off and do some, you know, I'd have to be doing something active outside and doing sort of fun stuff, but with an edge to helping people.
How about you, Harry?
He'd probably sit in and play computer games and drink beer.
Yeah, well, for a concert it'll be easy, and it's actually been a lot tougher than you imagine.
Yeah. We couldn't have done it with everybody else's help.
Yeah. Has there been any kind of diva demands or sort of pop stars you've had to deal with that have been quite tricky?
We couldn't possibly be so indiscreet.
The Spice Girls were quite keen to...
He's been the hardest. He's, you know, some cigarettes somewhere and a beer, that's about it, really. But apart from that, it's been pretty easy.
And the other thing as well, I think the reason they probably pull him early is to throw him off. But what if he wasn't there in the UK? What if he decided, okay, they already told him on Thursday, which is today that I'm recording this, that he's supposed to be testified. What if he landed he left the US, let's say yesterday, the day that he was in court? What if that's the day he left? So they probably did that to throw him off. But Harry have been going through that. He really, I truly believe when papers he did tell us, when they write things about him, he wants to know.
In the newspapers, I guess, but hopefully no one actually believes what they read, which I certainly don't. But yeah, of course I read it. If there's a story and something's being written about me, I want to know what's being said. But all it does is just upset me and anger me that people can get away with writing the stuff they do. Not just about me, about everything and everybody.
So he's been in this. It's not like he has an assistant reading things for him and summarize things. He probably go from step 1 to the final, every step of the way to get to the point where he's at in court testifying. So he knows the things inside and out. Okay, there's the comment here. A must listen to. I will try to put this in a short video for you guys. That's an ad. Then giving up course after just a few hours is a big deal. In trial advocacy, if you learn nothing else, you not ask questions you don't already know the answer to. They weren't prepared for how well he answered. They expected him to be royal vague, but Harry is anything but. He was ready and they ran. Yeah. All right. I really want to see the transcript so I could share with you. All right, because I keep on seeing people summarizing the thing. All right, the Playboy and not bright narrative is so outdated. And I think also that thing they put in their head that Harry doesn't know anything, because that's what they've been saying to themselves and they believe it. Harry's not smart, he's this. They always push that narrative of being smart to the other brother. So it sort of helped Harry in a way, because this is the nonsense they had in their head, that Harry is not smart. Okay? So it benefit Harry, because these people had a preconception of what they think Harry is, which is dumb. That's what they believe, you know, so it benefit Harry. The Playboy and not bright narrative is so outdated. They ran with that theory, and like 2012, it doesn't work in 2026. I don't know why. They thought this man wasn't going to come and their guns blazing. Yeah, Harry the Leaky. Harry the Leaky. He said things in court. It's the others that keep on. Let's block this, so I don't have to see not. Oops, not mute. Block. All right. Next tweet. This is BBC. All right. I'm almost half an hour. All right. Let's pause. BBC News report on Prince Harry's evidence in court today, including his response to Katie Nichols' suggestion that she was close to him. All right. Oh, this one is a long one, almost 3 minutes.
Of the news now, Prince Harry came close to tears at the High Court in London this afternoon as he finished giving evidence in his legal action against the publisher of the Daily Mail and Mail on Sunday. He said they had made his wife's life an absolute misery. Prince Harry and 6 other high-profile figures have accused associated newspapers of unlawful information gathering. The publisher denies any wrongdoing. Tom Simons was in court.
His arrival watched by ranks of photographers under suitably stormy skies. This was Prince Harry's final big moment in court, taking on the British press. Well, maybe. He's won a victory against the Mirror newspaper group, extracted money and an apology from the publisher of The Sun, but proving his case against the Mail is going to be a tough challenge. Prince Harry spent 2 hours in the witness box, mainly questioned by Anthony White QC, barrister for the newspapers, who's already made the case that what they wrote was the result of expert journalism, not blagging, hacking or phone tapping. Part of the Prince's witness statement described the Mail's reporting of him as an endless pursuit, a campaign, an obsession with having every aspect of my life under surveillance so they could get the run on their competitors. He's suing over 14 stories between 2001 and 2013, claiming they contained personal information only he or very close confidants could have known. Several are about his relationship with Chelsea Davy, who grew up in Africa. His lawyers say Mail journalists paid investigators to blag details of her flights and to hack her phone voicemails. The former Mail on Sunday royal editor Katie Nichols wrote about him regularly. Her evidence, she got scoops by carefully cultivating people in the Prince's social circle. Today, he said she made a career out of turning up at these events, but everyone knew who she was, so nobody would be loose-lipped around her. Sometimes his answers were terse, sometimes his voice broke with the emotion and anger he still clearly feels about the British press. At one point he was asked about a journalist who may or may not have been at the same nightclub as him. Good for her, he said. At another point he was told by the judge to answer the questions, give his evidence, not try to prove his own case. Associated Newspapers says its journalists are lining up to defend their actions in court, while it says the Duke of Sussex and the other well-known claimants are clutching at straws. Tom Simons, BBC News at the High Court.
The time is almost 6:20. Our top story.
Okay, so let's see here. Oh, not a lot of response.
Of the news now, Prince Harry came.
Does the reference to A&L journalists lining up to defend their action in court mean Nico, English, Graham, and Jones will take the stand and be questioned by Sherborne? Let's see, there's 3 comments under it. Okay, should be entertaining to hear what they come Snyder, friendship, and close friends to be. That's the ruling I consider. I hope so, honestly, so they can perjure themselves and get jail time for it. Okay, the coverage should have also include the statement from Prince Harry's attorney. It will be intriguing to hold roundtable discussion about the accusation against Katie Nicholl, Caroline Graham, and Rebecca English. British coverage tends to report without delivering deeper. Very biased reporting as usual, typical. This is disgusting reporting by the BBC. Where is the balance? All right, let's go to the next tweet. All right, this is another BBC. This one, okay, let's pause. 2 minutes and 52 seconds. Let's see what the other one is, because it's a retweet. Okay, so this is something else. I actually had no idea that A&L was planning on grilling Harry for over a day. The fact they pulled him after 2 hours is wild, and I do agree that it's because A&L knew they were in a losing battle with Harry, and he was a much better witness than they had hoped. All right, so he retweeted that. Let me pause for a second. Okay, I was uploading something. Let's go into that, and I'll step back out. Pause. Any responses? That's an ad. The felt thought they could shake Harry, but when he started poking holes in their case, they decided to cut their losses. So let's listen. I think we probably heard this already. Let's see here. A compelling witness. I think Harry was doing well. He is intelligent. He is articulate. He comes across genuinely. He has lived this case, and that makes him, in my experience, a very compelling witness. I think it's one of those that I already responded. It's just shorter.
Yeah, it's interesting. A lot has been made of the fact that yesterday Anthony White Casey for Associated Newspapers was supposed to do opening statements for 2 days, and he only did 2 hours, which pushed Prince Harry into the box a day early. And this is a technique that can be used to try and rattle a witness. And then today, interesting that they only cross-examined Harry for 2 hours. Now, in my experience, if you have a witness on the ropes, you keep going. He was due to be cross-examined for a day, and they took him out. They pulled him early, because I think Harry was doing well, actually. Now, I think what a lot of people think about Harry is that he's a playboy and he's not very bright, but actually, he's intelligent, he's articulate, he's genuine, he comes across genuinely, and also he knows these issues inside out. He's lived this case, and that makes, in my experience, for a very compelling witness. And I think that although there were no hammer blows landed by either side today, I think Harry held up well enough that they thought, this is damaging to us. And he said a few things. For example, he said, I feel like they were trying to drive me to drink and drugs to make more press out of me. He talked about the misery inflicted on Meghan and started choking up. This is the kind of emotional stuff that cuts through to the public. And I think maybe there was a tactical decision by Associated's lawyers that this isn't going well, we should pull him out early so he doesn't do any more damage.
All right, go back from the original tweet. I think they came to the realization that if they keep grilling Harry, things about the royal might come out. Yeah, this is the second time someone said it. I agree with that as well. Their lawyers are just there for the paycheck. People keep foolishly underestimating him. Anyone who's been paying attention has seen him grow into a compelling, eloquent advocate. At the top of his list of priorities are his wife and children, and as many have pointed out, those people should have left them alone. They should be worried about Sadie Foss and her medical records. All right, so that's that. Let's go to the next tweet. Okay, it's another video. I think that's the same thing. I'm not gonna play it again. All right, so there's no response. Let me just read the caption. Pause. They have underestimated this smart and intelligent man. They effed around for far too long, and now they are finding out. Dry up the Daily Mail packets. Prince Harry versus Daily Mail justice. This parasite must be held accountable. Enough. Okay, so that's the same thing, so I'm not gonna play it again. All right, so this is something about Jeremy Vine. It seemed like they were interviewing him. All right, let me pause. How long ago? So that was, oh yeah, yesterday. Okay, I thought that was last year. Some old videos. Okay, the stochastic terrorists and the toxic British media all know the outcome they are hoping for Harry and Meghan. Almost every, with God willing, that will never happen. God has their backs. Okay, almost every day for 5 years, Jeremy Vine vowed holds panel discussion for the sole purpose of vilifying the Sussexes when Vine was harassed by one of a few months he was wrecked. All right, so let's listen. 27 seconds.
But what he wanted to do was create so much hatred against me that someone acted by proxy. I'm absolutely certain that he knows, with 400,000 people watching those videos, that at some point someone is going to take a knife or acid to my home.
That says very plainly that you know what's happening. You know you don't want it for you. I want to know why you're so willing to accept it or to allow it to happen for others.
But what he wanted to do was...
It's flying over. Right. He went to court weeping and wailing, not excusing what Barton said about him, but he needs to take a good long look at himself. Who is this person making reference to? All right, yep. I can't bear him anymore, vile man. I was an avid watcher of the program until the campaign to sully the Sussexes on a daily basis began. I hope karma makes a visit one day. They are vile, and the fact that a lot of its morning show is demented. So in that country, it is basically wake up and take a deep sip of the most demonic misogyny and racist weekend dog whistle our way around. God forbid anyone who call it out. All right, and I think now more Brits are starting to see and doing the pushback. All right, this is another video, Sky News. Same thing again. I'm just gonna focus on the caption and some of the responses, and that will be it for this video. And then I may not have time to, yeah, I do. It's 5 something. I might do another one where the squad are talking. Okay, he's lived this case, and that makes for a very compelling witness. Media lawyers Rory Lynch talked to Sky Sarah Jane about Prince Harry's appearance at the High Court, where he gave evidence against Associate newspapers. Okay, this seems like it's the woman who's talking this time. Let me play it. If it's the guy, I'll stop in between. Let's see.
It'd be interesting, you know, I mean, we'll never know, but how he felt coming away from that. Like you said, he was due to give evidence tomorrow. It was brought forward a day early. It was expected to be a full day. He only got a couple of hours. Rory, what are the tactics at play here from a legal point of view?
Yeah, it's interesting. A lot has been made of the fact that yesterday Anthony White Casey for Associated Newspapers was supposed to do opening statements for 2 days, and he only did 2 hours, which pushed Prince Harry into the box a day early. And this is a technique that can be used to try and rattle a witness. And then today, interesting that they only cross-examined Harry for 2 hours. Now, in my experience, if you have a witness on the ropes, you keep going. He was due to be cross-examined for a day, and they took him out, they pulled him early, because I think Harry was doing well, actually. Now, I think what a lot of people think about Harry is that he's a playboy and he's not very bright, but actually, he's intelligent, he's articulate, he's genuine, he comes across genuinely, and also he knows these issues inside out. He's lived this case. And that makes, in my experience, for a very compelling witness. And I think that although there were no hammer blows landed by either side today, I think Harry held up well enough that they thought, this is damaging to us. And he said a few things. For example, he said, I feel like they were trying to drive me to drink and drugs to make more press out of me. He talked about the misery inflicted on Meghan and started choking up. This is the kind of emotional stuff that cuts through to the public. And I think maybe there was a tactical decision by Associated's lawyers that this isn't going well, we should pull him out early so he doesn't do any more damage.
All right, so it's the same thing. I decided to let it play. So I'm pretty much done. Let's do a prayer. Okay, I was trying to create something while it was being played. All right, so let's look for a prayer. Prayer for, what should we say? For victory. All right, let's pick one of this. Okay, let's go to image, whatever's here. Hopefully I could see it. No, I cannot. It's very kind of blurry. Let's pick something underneath it. All right, Lord, thank you for the gift of new beginnings. Each day is a fresh start, an opportunity to draw closer to you and walk in your purpose. Help me release the past, embrace your grace, and step forward in faith. Renew my heart, my mind, and my spirit so that I may reflect your love in all I do. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, so that is it. Alright, so this is what I'm putting up. I'm gonna make it public enough for you. So please take a moment to subscribe, like, and share. If you want to support this channel, there's a PayPal link and a Cash App link in the description. You could donate. Those who have donated, thank you. Alright, so that's it. I'm gonna do another video until the kids are up, and it's gonna be, we're gonna start with this. The squad are talking, so we're gonna focus on the squad. Oh, did I read any of the comments? No, I did not. Let me read what's there. This hits different. Prince Harry flamed the Daily Mail's lying ASS. They messed with the wrong one. Of course, he was prepared. He's been waiting years for this day, and it shows. Well done, Prince Harry. Harry's last sentence was emotional. That's it. The rest of the time, he was nailing his point and effectively. They stopped early. They stopped early on both days because they simply haven't got a defense. Please have Rory Lynch back to discuss this case. I'm interested to hear how he feels about the other claimants giving evidence. Kudos to Prince Harry for fighting the UK press abuse of power. He's doing it at a frighteningly great personal cost. Many victims understandably do nothing because of the pressure which he's experiencing at unprecedented level. Alright, those women always get so angry whenever Meghan calls him my husband, and we know why. They are birds. Alright, I wonder what his wife will make him do next soon. Please. Well, they just need to leave him alone. Alright, you have to have a case to back up in order for you to sue. Alright, yeah, first person ever live their own case. He is a crybaby. Alright, you're not the one who's going through it. I just hope you don't go through it. Alright, so that's that. The next tweet I'm gonna do for the next video, we're gonna start with this. Alright, the squad are talking about the case. Alright, so that is it. Thank you for watching.
It is a great privilege to be with all of you today.
You know, we ask for forgiveness and please come back.
As you saw me find the love and happiness that I'd hoped for all my life. You are all in this together, and if I may speak personally, we are all in this together, because asking for help was one of the best decisions that I ever made. You will be continually amazed how life changes for the better.